Special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this video possible. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Secure12 here bringing you another Minecraft World War II vehicle tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be going ahead and building the IS-4. The IS-4, also known as the Object 701, was a Soviet heavy tank that started development in 1943 and began production in 1946. Derived from the IS-2 and part of the IS tank family, the IS-4 featured a longer hull and increased armor. With the IS-3 already in production, as well as the decreased need for tanks, particularly heavy tanks, and sluggish mobility, many were sent to the Russian Far East, with some eventually becoming pillboxes along the Chinese border in the 1960s. Less than 250 were produced. So yeah, the IS-4 here, kind of a cool design here, and one of the evolutions of the IS-2, which was a really awesome heavy tank of World War II, an absolute beast, and definitely a threat to really any of the German armor that the Germans were fielding at the time. So kind of cool to see this family of tank kind of continue throughout a little bit of the Cold War, especially right after World War II, and obviously shortly after that time period, after World War II, the transition to main battle tanks started to take place. So overall, pretty cool build, and should be a fun one to add to your rolls if you're looking for kind of a really late kind of World War II / early Cold War type tank. Before we go and jump into this build though, I do want to go ahead and give a special thanks to Patreon support Owen Brost for making this tutorial possible. If you guys are interested in supporting the channel more than you already do, feel free to check out my Patreon page. Link is always in my video descriptions, where you can go and pledge a small amount to the channel every month, and in doing so earn a vehicle request of your choosing per month you're a patron. It really helps support the work I do on my channel, and you earn that cool benefit of having a build request per month that you are a patron. So again, definitely feel free to check that out, and link is always in my video descriptions. With that though, let's go ahead and dive in here to a deeper look of the IS-4. So starting off, we have the main gun here, which was the 120 millimeter gun that the IS-2 used, so it's kind of a continuation of that gun. As I mentioned, the hull here is supposed to be a little bit longer than that of the original IS-2. We then have the turret here, so pretty nice looking turret. It has those really nice round curves. Again, kind of very popular design concept with Soviet tanks during the time. We have all the gear mounts on the side here, so different boxes for storage and all that kind of fun stuff. On the back here we have the fans and ventilation over the engine bay, so that's what that is. And then on the back here there are these fuel tanks, which were attached to give it a little bit of extra range and all that stuff. So anyways, that's pretty much the overview here for the build. It's overall really cool looking tank, and as I mentioned, is a great addition for any kind of really late World War II / Cold War type builds. But anyways though, without further ado, let's go ahead and move into the tutorial, but begin with our first layer number 1. Alright guys, so going ahead and move into our first layer here. We're going to be going ahead and start with our first layer 1. For layer 1, to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to go and take our nether brick stairs, and we're going to place down 2 stairs upside down, like this, going across. We're going to go ahead and place down 2 green shulker boxes, which are going to be back to back like so. And we then want to go ahead and go back from this with 2 dark prismarine stairs, another 2 right behind these, and then another 2 green shulker boxes back to back like that. We're going to go ahead and repeat the same kind of alternating pattern, and we're going to go and do this a total of 3 more times. So we have the shulker boxes and the 2 sets of stairs. So this right here is going to make that 2 sets, and we then have our last set here like this. So in the end, you should have basically a total of 3 of those shulker boxes back to back, and then a total of 3 of those sets of stairs back to back. After that, we want to go ahead and then do 1 more row of those shulker boxes. So just like that, we're going to go and place down 2 narrow brick slabs and 2 narrow brick top slabs like that to round off the rear there. After that is all done, we're going to go ahead and go back up to the front, and we're going to take our dark oak wood top slabs. We're going to place in our row 3 coming off that upside down stair there. Then when it comes to the back here of the vehicle, we're going to go to this narrow brick slab here, and we're going to place down a row 3 of top slabs across from that. We then want to place down a zombie head here on the side of the slab. Over here, we're going to go ahead and basically do the same thing. So we have 2 slabs there, 2 top slabs, and another zombie head here on the side. So it's going to look like that there. After we have that all done there, we're going to go ahead and basically take our same design that we did for the tracks on the one side and bring it over to the other side. So it's going to look basically the same on both sides. And we have our last set of stairs and our last set of shulker boxes. And then we're just going to place down our 2 nether brick upside down stairs. With that all done, we're going to go ahead and take our item frames and we're going to go ahead and place them down on the side here of the shulker boxes, as well as green stained glass panes in the item frames, and then dark oak buttons on the side of those blocks. After that is all done, we're going to then take our item frames again and do the same thing over here on this side. Now, just a little side note, if you are not on Java, so you're on Bedrock or Pocket Edition, you will not be able to place down item frames and buttons in the same block space. For me personally, I would recommend going ahead and using the item frames and the green stained glass pane over the buttons, but you can go ahead and obviously use the buttons if you prefer that look compared to the item frame. But again, overall, kind of up to you guys of what you want to do there. We're also going to go ahead and take our dark oak top slabs, and we're just going to go ahead and fill in the middle here of the tank like so, to go ahead and create a nice filled in base here. So just like that, and that's all filled in. Now that we have this all done, the final thing really for us to do here is to going to be using these banners. Now basically what I did here is I went ahead and I took 2 black banners and I went ahead and did a green line on the left side going vertically, splitting it in half for one banner, and then I did a green line going vertically on the right side for the other banner. Now after I had that done, I had these 2 banners that were split in half, green and black on one side, and they were alternating. You then want to go and just take a black die and you're going to go ahead and do a horizontal line that just goes right through the centers there of the banner like that, and you're going to create these banners that look like this. Now once those banners are created, we're going to go to the side of these stairs here. We're just going to go ahead and place down our basically our 2 banners like this, so that the green is pointing toward each other. And you're just going to go and do the same thing here for the whole track system. So it's going to be like this to both sides. And once you have that all done there, that is all you really have there for the tracks. And with that, that is going to wrap up everything we have there for layer 1. With that, we'll be going ahead and moving into layer number 2. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 2. For layer 2 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to go and take our green terracotta, we're going to place down our row 3 across the front here, and then a row 3 of green stained glass panes. After that, we're going to place down one more green terracotta block to the sides, a green shulker box coming off those blocks, an item frame, a green stained glass pane, and same thing over here, an item frame, green stained glass pane, and then we just want to place down a button here on the side of these blocks, like so again for Java players. We're going to go then take our nether brick walls. We're going to place down 2 nether brick walls across the green terracotta and green shulker box on both ends. And then we're going to go and take our dark oak signs and we're going to go and wrap them around the 3 sides here of the walls. So these 3 here, and same thing over here. After that, we want to go and then place down item frames like so. And we're going to go and then place down tripwire hooks in those item frames, and we're going to rotate them so they point downwards, like so. With that done, we're going to then take our green terracotta. We're going to go ahead and place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 blocks back. And over here, we're going to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We'll then just go ahead and fill in the whole space in the middle here, like so. And it's just going to make this a nice solid interior here for the build. So like that. After that, we want to go then place down a green shulker box, come off the sides here, or rather actually it's going to be one more row of 5 going across there. Yep, so it's going to be that one more row of 5, and then we're going to go ahead and place down our green shulker box. So it should sit on top of this nether brick top slab. Now after that's done on the side of those shulker boxes, we're going to place down an item frame, and then we're going to then place down a cobweb inside item frame, and then a dark oak button on the side. Same thing over here, like so. We then want to take our nether brick walls, we're going to place down 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we want to take our dark oak top slabs, and we're going to place down 2 top slabs coming off those stairs. Now on the side of the wall, on this side, and then the 3 sides here of these slabs, and actually the inside here as well, we're going to go and wrap signs around. And the same thing will be done over here. So just like that. After that's done, in the center here, we're going to take our dark oak stairs, we're going to place down a row 3 across, an item frame on the sides there, and then we're going to place down a tripwire hook in the item frames, and we're going to go ahead and rotate this so they face downwards like so. We're going to go then place down a dark oak fence gate on this middle stair, open it toward it like so. After that is done there, we're going to go ahead and then place down 1 and 2 dark oak with top slabs, a dark prismarine upside down stair, 2 dark oak with top slabs, a dark prismarine upside down stair, 2 dark oak with top slabs, prismarine upside down stair, and then we're going to place down 2 more dark oak with top slabs. We're going to go ahead and then take our dark oak with signs, and we're just going to go ahead and run dark oak with signs all the way alongside the slabs and stairs. And the same design will just be repeated to the other side. And just like that, we have the sides done, and with that, that's going to wrap up everything we have here for layer 2. Just doing a double check here, make sure we're not missing anything, and everything does appear to be good to go. So here is a basically a top-down view of what layer 2 should look like, and with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, which will be layer number 3. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 3. For this layer to start with, we're going to go ahead and place down dark oak wood trapdoors on top of these nether brick walls here. We then want to go ahead and place down a flower pot on top of these glass panes, and then after we have that done, we're going to go ahead and place down a dark oak wood stair here in the center, and then we're going to place down a dark oak wood slab to the sides, followed by a daylight detector to the very outsides there. We're going to go ahead and also make sure that we close those trapdoors so that they are not sticking open. After that, behind the stair, we're going to place down a stripped spruce log, followed by a green terracotta block to the 2 sides here. And we're going to go ahead and then place down a row of 5 of green terracotta directly across behind that row. Then in the corners here, after the daylight detectors, we're going to place down a dark oak wood stair like so. And then for this section here, we have a bit of a difference on the 2 sides. We're going to be going ahead and using some waxed, exposed, cut copper slabs. And we're going to make the full blocks basically like this. And we want to go ahead and take dark oak wood buttons, and we're going to place on the sides here of these 2 blocks. Now over on the other side, it's going to be slightly different. This is going to be involving the use of end portal frames, and we're just going to place down 2 end portal frames like this across. After we have that all finished, we're going to go ahead and place down a dark oak wood slab on both ends here of the build. Now at this point, we do again have some differences here between the 2 sides. So starting with our right side here, we're going to place down a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 of these mossy cobblestone walls, a item frame on both ends here, and then we're going to place down a tripwire hook in the item frames pointing downwards. So like that on both sides. On the other side, we want to go ahead and grab ourselves some strip spruce, some ladders, some spruce signs, and some stairs. We're going to go ahead and place down a row of spruce stairs, or spruce full blocks. And we're going to place down ladders on the side of those blocks. We're going to go ahead and place down 3 upside down spruce stairs with spruce wood signs on the side of the stairs. And continuing on, we're going to then place down again 2 stripped spruce wood blocks with ladders there on the sides. And we're going to go ahead and finish this all off with a mossy cobblestone wall like that on the end there. And after that is all done, we also want to go ahead and return up here to the front, and on the side of the end portal frames, we're also going to go ahead and place down dark oak wood signs. After that is all done though, we can go ahead and then fill in the inside here with green terracotta. So between after this first row of 5, we're going to place down a second row. Then we have 3, 4, and 5. So you're going to have a total of 5 rows of 5 filled in this middle section. When we get to this point, it's going to change into a green 1, 2, 3, and 4 green terracotta blocks down the center. We're going to go ahead and place down our deep slate tiles like that to the sides and also in these spaces here. So it's going to help kind of form our vents. Now for the big fans that are located above the engine bay, we're going to go ahead and place down these glazed or green glazed terracotta. Now we want to place them in a manner so that we get this circular shape. So you need to change the direction you're basically looking at and placing. So it will end up forming this kind of circular shape, which helps kind of create that vent type look. So we're going to kind of do this all the way around, and that's going to create those fans there. Now with that all done, we want to go ahead and then grab ourselves some dark oak wood slabs. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3 in the center, and then 1, 2, 3 daylight detectors. Alright guys, so going ahead and continuing on, once we get to this point here, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves some green shulker boxes. We're going to place down 2 green shulker boxes in this space here, basically back to back, so bottom to bottom. And we then want to go ahead and place down green shulker boxes coming off the sides of those blocks, going ahead and going in both directions. So just like that. After that is all done there, the last thing for us to do here is to go ahead and take some Dark Oak trapdoors, and we're just going to very simply place these on top of the top slabs. Once we have that all complete there, that is going to wrap up everything we have here for layer 3. Again, here's an aerial view of what it looks like from the top-down view. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, which will be layer number 4. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 4. For layer 4 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down a green terracotta block that's going to go on top of this block right here. We then want to go ahead and place down a dark oak top slab going forward, and then one top slab out to both sides. After that, we're going to go ahead and also place down a dark oak up-down stair to both sides of that green terracotta block, as well as a dark oak trapdoor coming off that top slab there in the center. After that, we're going to then take our green terracotta, we're going to place down a row of 3 across, and we're going to go then place down a dark oak up-down stair to both ends. We then want to go ahead and place down a zombie head, come off the side of those stairs like so. And we're going to go ahead and then go back from the stair with a row of 5 of green terracotta. On the side of the green terracotta and the stair, we're going to go ahead and place down dark oak signs like so. After that, we're going to go ahead and then place down a row of 3 of green terracotta across, a dark oak up-down stair again to both ends, and then another row of 3 of green terracotta, followed by again a dark oak top slab to both ends. We're going to place down a green terracotta block here in the center, followed by a mossy cobblestone wall to both ends, and then a dark oak top slab coming off the side there of the walls. We'll then just place down our row 3, going all the way across there with our top slabs. After that's complete, we want to go ahead and then place down a zombie head that's going to be at a slant angle on top of this second to last mossy cobblestone wall on the right side and right side only. We also want to go ahead and place down dark oak buttons. They're going to be on top of these 2 blocks right here, as well as an item frame on top of this green terracotta block. And if you are on Java, you can also place down one underneath this top slab in this space right here. In those item frames, we're going to go ahead and place down iron bars. So 1, 2, just like that. Once we have that all complete, we want to go ahead and then grab ourselves some green candles. And on top of these shulker boxes here, we're going to go ahead and crouch. And we're going to go ahead and place down our candles. And then we're just going to go ahead and add to that. So we're going to go ahead and place down our candles like this. And we only want to go ahead and do 2 on each one. Then taking our dark oak buttons, we're just going to place down buttons here on top of these middle shulker boxes like so. And once you have that all complete there, that's going to wrap up my design there for layer 4. And taking a look at it from above here, again, this is what it should look like from the top-down view. With that all complete, let's move on to our next layer, which will be layer number 5. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 5. For layer 5 to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to place down a end portal frame on top of this slab right here. And we're going to go ahead and place down a dark oak slab going forward. We then want to place down one more slab to both sides of this end portal frame, as well as a item frame that is going to go on the side of this slab here. And in that item frame, we're going to place down a black concrete block, as well as a dark oak sign on the side of that slab as well. So it's going to look like that. And then we also want to go and grab a chain, and on the right side here, we're going to place down a chain coming off this slab. We're going to go ahead and go forward from this middle slab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 more slabs. We're going to go ahead and drop down from this last slab here, and we're going to go ahead and place down a row of the dark oak trapdoors, or top trapdoors, like this going across. On top of these trapdoors here, we're going to go ahead and place down a black bed, like so, for the muzzle brake. With that done, going back to our turret here, we're going to go ahead and continue on by placing down a green shulker box after the end portal frame. And then we're going to place down a dark oak stair to both sides of it. We're going to take our green terracotta, and we're going to place down a row 3 across. After that row of 3 across, we're going to go ahead and place down a green stainless pane to both sides. Followed by another row of 3 of green terracotta, a dark oak stair, again to both sides, and we're going to go ahead and repeat the same process here. Row 3 of green terracotta, and a dark oak stair on both ends. We're going to go then place down a row 3 of green terracotta, down the center here, a second row, and then 2 green stainless panes to the sides. On the very back here, we want to place down a mossy cobblestone wall here in the center, and a green stainless pane to both sides there. After that is complete, we're going to go ahead and also take our stripped birchwood logs, and we're going to place down a row 3, going across the back here. And we're going to go ahead and then grab ourselves some spruce wood buttons, and we're going to go ahead and just wrap them around these 2 blocks, or these 2 blocks on both ends. So it's going to look something like that there. Also, one thing I did forget to do in the previous layer is we do actually want to place down a flower pot on top of this waxed copper block, and also a dark oak button here as well. So it's going to be like that there on the right side. Now, a few things to kind of tidy up the turret here, or really to kind of add on to it. We're going to place down the zombie head here at a slight angle on top of this zombie head here. So we're not going to go ahead and go at a 45 like that. We want a little bit slighter of an angle, so it's going to kind of help there for shaping there of the turret. Now, once we have that done, for Java players, we can go ahead and type in the command /give app p minecraft :debug _stick. So this command right here, and by pressing enter, you'll get this glowing stick. What we're going to do here is we're going to build a block off of these slabs here. So we're just going to leave a block of space from the slabs and build out to the sides. We're going to go ahead and grab tripwire hooks. We're going to place down tripwire hooks on the side of these blocks. And then using our debug stick here, we're going to left click them until we get selected facing. And then we're going to go ahead and right click them and rotate them so that they look like they sit and connect on to our dark liquid slabs. We can then delete these blocks, and those tripwire hooks are going to stay there on the sides of the turret. Now, unfortunately, that again is going to be a Java only feature, just due to Java being the only version that does have a debug stick, from my knowledge. A alternative would be to use item frames and place a tripwire hook in them, but realistically, it's a pretty minor detail that can be left off without really taking away from the build. So I'll let you kind of choose if you want to do an alternative for it or just disregard it altogether. In addition, for Java, we can do a few more things here to just kind of fix up the turret a little bit. This can be actually connecting these glass panes to the stairs. To do this, we're going to go ahead and look in the direction we want the glass panes to go to. So we want them to connect to the stair, so we're going to go ahead and connect this way, so toward the back. By pressing our F3 key, we can look in our bottom paragraph, or our second paragraph, or middle paragraph there, and in that fourth line it says that we're facing north. So what we're going to do here is we can go ahead and left click this glass pane until we get selected north, and it should say false. We can then right click it, and it'll actually extend the glass pane toward those stairs. And that's basically something you can do for the front. And we can do basically the opposite here to this glass pane and have it go toward our south direction. Now, just a side note is that your directions may be different depending on which orientation you do have the tank in. So again, just make sure you know what direction the glass pane needs to go in. It could be east-west, south-north, it just depends again on the orientation of the vehicle in your world. So that is definitely subject to change. Anyways, though, that is going to conclude everything we have there for layer number 5, and with that we'll go ahead and dive into our last final layers. Alright guys, moving into our last final layers here, we have layers 6 through 8. For these layers to go ahead and get started with here, we want to place down a dark liquid trapdoor on this green terracotta block here. Right behind that, we're going to go ahead and place down a daylight detector, and we're going to go ahead and make sure we close that trapdoor and keep it closed. We then want to place down a zombie head on the right side here, and then on the left side we're going to go ahead and grab a flower pot, and we're going to place down a flower pot, like so. After that is done, we want to go ahead and then place down a dark liquid slab in the center, and then a daylight detector here to the sides. We're going to place down a dark liquid slab down the center here, and then we want to place down a spruce wood slab to both sides. After we get to this point here, we're going to place down a dark liquid fence gate on top of this block, and also on top of this wall here. We're going to open them toward each other, so you create a design that looks like this. After that, we're going to go ahead and place down a daylight detector here to both sides of this fence gate, so it looks just like this here for the top of the turret. We're also going to go ahead and grab ourselves an end rod, and we're going to place down an end rod here on this glass pane, and we're going to go ahead and place down 2 iron bars up, like so. With that all complete, we can also go ahead and grab ourselves some item frames here, and we can use the item frames here to actually add some tools mounted to the side of the tank. So for this, we'll just place down an item frame here on the side of the stair and the glass pane. We'll place down our iron tools in them and lay sideways there, and you can add them to both sides or just one side. It's really doesn't matter. Just kind of depends again, detail wise, on what you want to do. The last thing for us to do here is to go ahead and throw on the Dishko machine gun that you can see mounted up here on the roof of the tank. So for this, we're going to place down a anvil on top of this daylight detector here, and we're going to go ahead and place down a polished black stone upside down stair going forward from it. We then want to go ahead and grab a spruce wood fence gate. We're going to have it come off the back here of the anvil, and we're going to open up toward it. And we're going to go ahead and grab a end rod, chain, and a wither skeleton skull to go ahead and kind of form up the gun here. Now, once we have that all complete, we're going to go ahead and grab an item frame, a black bed, and a dark liquid sign. We'll place an item frame here, dark liquid sign on the side, or bed in the item frame, and then a dark liquid sign on the side there. After that's done, we're going to place down a wither skeleton skull, or rather actually first a flower pot on top of the anvil here. And then we're going to place down a polished black stone button on top of this stair here. We'll then grab a green shulker box, place it to the side of that stair, and lastly here we'll go ahead and grab a powered rail and place it down on top of the shulker box like that for the ammo belt that feeds into the Dishka. With that all done though, that is going to wrap up my design here for the IS-4 heavy tank. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this design and are able to put it to good use. If you do end up using this build, I do ask that you guys give me proper credit for it. This can be anything from a sign of the build, tweet to my channel, or this video if this does appear on social media sites. As long as you guys give me proper credit for the build, you're free to use it for a project you guys are working on, and all that fun stuff. And again, a big special thanks to Patreon support Owen Brost for making this tutorial possible. And feel free to check my Patreon page. Again, link is always in my video descriptions. With that though, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Garrett2x4, and I'll see you guys next time.